Thank you for coming to the Skeptic Psychic, where we delve into the mysteries, the esoteric, and other things that go pop in the night.
Okay, you doing Truman Capote tonight?
Isn't that nice?
Yes. So, how are you this evening?
I am doing fine. How are you this evening?
Doing good. Anything exciting happened to you this week?
Well, nothing exciting happened to me this week, but next week, dear gentle viewers, I am going to get my first colonoscopy.
Oh, goodness. That does not sound fun.
I told the doctors I'm a bit worried about the day before, and he laughed. He's like, "Well, son, you're on your own."
Yeah, Mercy's supposed to get one, but I need to reschedule his appointment. Um, they haven't told me that I'm ready for one yet, so that's a good thing.
Yes. Well, it's usually men that they really want to
Yes,
hammer it in.
yes. So, this week we are talking about the Men in Black. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yes. If you're a member of our Facebook group, I did post a video about a family in Las Vegas who saw something in their backyard and they started seeing some people showing up around their house in unmarked SUVs wearing black suits.
Mm-hmm.
The government claims they didn't send anyone out. So if you're a member of our
Right.
well, if you are a member of our group, you can check out that video. Um, if you're not a member yet, you can click on the QR code in this video and join our group.
We like you, and we do have a website, which is skepticpsychic.com. You can contact us there at info@skepticpsychic.com. If you have any questions, concerns, or really want to be on our show. Yay!
Yes. And if you are watching on YouTube, like and subscribe and hit the notification. If you're listening to a replay, we ask that you give us a review. And Rick likes to tell us how many review stars we like.
We like a one, a two, a one, two, three, four, 5 stars. See, five, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 stars. 5 stars would be really, really nice, but we'll take anything. We promise. We love
Yeah.
you. We really, really do. You tell us we
Yes.
suck, but tell us why we suck. Don't tell us that we're ate a bag of dirt. I'm sorry. I would rather hear why you feel like we like for us to eat a bag of dirt.
Yes. How can we improve?
Right.
So let's get into the Men in Black. This is why people are here tonight.
Yes. Now, the term Men in Black is mostly commonly referred to and associated with a mysterious organization or group of individuals who often depict in popular culture, partially in relation to UFO sightings and encounters. The concept of the Men in Black organization from various accounts of encounters within the Enigma individuals who allegedly and visit witnesses of researchers, skeptics, viewers. I saw UFO. Men in Black show up and go, give me a foo free. I'm tired of good. It's important to note that the Men in Black phenomenon is primarily a part of urban legends and conspiracy theories, and there are no concrete evidence to support the existence of an actual international organization or individuals referred to as the legendary Men in Black. However, we can provide you with some brief overview of how the Men in Black have become portrayed in popular culture.
Yes, I do want to put this out there that there is no evidence. I do not want the Men in Black looking for us saying we know too much. So this is merely speculation based on popular culture and stories. As far as we know, there are no Men in Black, none
Right,
whatsoever.
they're not giving up that chewing gum, because
Mhm.
there's no such thing.
They don't
As we
have
look
little
over my
wands.
shoulder, I go, boop, they never say, oh, what are we talking about again?
They don't have little wands to magically erase our memories and give us new ones. But they do first, well, we do hear about them in the comics as they gained significant popularity through a comic book series that was created by Lowell Cunningham and Sandy Carruthers. These comics did inspire the successful Men in Black film franchise, as we know of with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones,
Now
which
they briefly for 3 years actually did have a cartoon series too.
interesting. Now, this I
Yeah.
did not know.
Oh yeah.
Um, but the film series did begin in 97, and these guys were supposed to be agents of a secret intergalactic organization that would monitor and regulate ET activity here on Earth.
Yes. Special
Um,
cameo in the first movie for our wonderful friend, the dancing the
Healing dancer.
the healing dancer. That was
Yes.
actually Michael Jackson made a cameo trying to convince
Yes.
Zed to hire
Want,
him.
wanting to be Agent M. That was truly Michael Jackson, not a look-alike stand in. Um, but their responsibility was to maintain the secrecy and control alien interactions. So basically, they wanted to make sure that we didn't know aliens were actually among us, even though, according to them, they were. And the term Men in Black was popularized by the American author and UFO researcher Gray Barker. He wrote a book called They Knew Too Much About Flying Saucers that was published in 1956. This includes encounters with mysterious individuals who wore black suits and exhibited peculiar behavior. Hmm, right. They would allegedly, quote unquote, intimidate silence of witnesses to UFO sightings or other paranormal phenomenon.
Do, 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 do.
So I always thought they were just with the aliens, but it says other paranormal phenomenon as well.
Do,
So
do, 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 do.
were they trying to silence the ghost believers out there too?
Possibly.
Oh, well, tell us more about his book.
Now, Gray Barker's description of the MIB in his book, of course, they knew too much about flying saucers, depicted them as enigmatic figures who appeared after any type of UFO sightings or any type of encounters that may be. Several of them did show up. They say about possibly Mothman or any of the crypto type stuff in the early 50s and 60s. Now, what did they look like? I know you may ask that. Please ask.
What did they look like?
Glad you asked, because the appearance is typically described as wearing a black suit, black hats, and black sunglasses, which to me sounds a lot like Jake and Elwood Blues.
So are you trying to say that the Blues Brothers were actually men in black in disguise?
They might have
Or
been.
or did the men in black disguise themselves as the Blue Brothers?
That might happen.
Interesting.
They are said to be so formal and somber in appearance. If you notice, if you ever watched the movie The Blues Brothers, not affiliated, not associated, they had a somber appearance, and some witnesses also reported their skin had a strange uh, pallor or seemed artificial. Now, the behavior of the men in black were known for that unusual behavior. They were often described as having a robotic or mechanical demeanor. Again, look at the Blues Brothers, Jake and Elwood.
Now, if you think about it, Tommy Lee Jones was very stoic in that movie, so he did really good at playing a man in black. If you think about it,
Hmm. Now, they spoke in a monotone voice and asked detailed and intrusive questions about the UFO sightings or encounters. They seemed to possess extensive knowledge about the witness's personal life and background, which was often unsettling to the individuals they visited. Again, look at the Blues Brothers, not only in the movies, but also if you ever seen them perform live. And intimidations and threats.
You know what's really interesting about that? Real quick, let me cut you
Yes.
off. You are saying how Jake and Elwood, the Blues Brothers, are very similar to the Men in Black. What's interesting is that Dan Aykroyd, who helped come up with the Blues Brothers, starred in the movie. His father wrote a book on a wrote actually I think he wrote several books about aliens and the UFOs and paranormal.
No, he did not.
He didn't? Was it his
No.
grandfather?
No. His brother and him had a show that actually dealt with that, and they collaborated a few times on books. His father did write a book about the paranormal, but it was about go, about ghosts and the phenomenon that happened during the late 19th century and early 20th century with the spiritualism movement.
Oh, okay. Well, I know that he is Dan Aykroyd. I mean, he is very fascinated by aliens and UFOs and all of that. So I just found that very interesting how you're referring to the Blues Brothers as the Men in Black.
I mean, this is my pure theory and speculation. I don't, unless Stan Aykroyd gives me a call out of the blue and says, "You hit the nail on the right, kid." Me and Jake were just doing what do you do.
Yes. We'll continue on.
Now they do have intimidations and threats. They will often use this tactic to discourage witnesses from discussing their experiences. They would often issue veiled threats, warnings, and to keep silent what they had seen. In some cases, they reportedly confiscated evidence or photography related to UFO sightings. Now, they did have some unusual abilities. They were suggested from accounts that they possessed storage abilities or technology. Not storage abilities, but strange abilities in storage technologies. Witnesses claimed that they could appear and disappear mysteriously, drive unusual or futuristic vehicles, or have an uncanny knowledge of events before they occurred. The legend has been associated with a number of UFO stories and encounters. Here are a few notable cases that have been linked to the Men in Black phenomenon.
Yes. Again, I haven't heard of them driving any strange or futuristic vehicles. Like I said, usually what I've heard is them driving like maybe black cars, like black sedans, or even black SUVs. But that's interesting that supposedly they were using futuristic vehicles in some of these encounters.
And
However,
hello to you, viewer up there by the name of Jamie Cole. How are you doing tonight?
hello, Jamie. So glad you could join us. Yes, Albert K. Bender was a UFO researcher and founder of the International Flying Saucer Bureau, or better known as IFSB.
Which is the precursor for the for today's modern international. Never mind. You know what it is. Whee!
Whee! Okay, well, Albert claimed to have had encounters with the Men in Black back in the early 1950s. Now, according to Bender, after he announced he was going to reveal classified information about these UFOs, three men in black suits visited him. They warned him to stop his research. They took some of his materials and allegedly, gotta say, allegedly
Allegedly,
used mind control to silence him. Um, Bender's experiences polarized the concept of the men in black in the UFO lore. Now, we also have, as you mentioned before, the Mothman sightings. Supposedly, for our friends up in Chicago, these are still quite frequent.
yeah, and also Point Pleasant still have an occasional situation.
Well, the original one happened in, again, in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, back in the late 60s.
which is maybe about 2 hours away from the Illinois border.
Yes. And according to various accounts, these events were accompanied by reports of men in black showing up. Witnesses claimed that men dressed in black suits and driving black cars came to visit them. They often exhibited odd behavior and made threats. Yes, always wanting to make those threats.
Mm-hmm.
These encounters added to an eerie element to the already mysterious Mothman phenomenon. Do, 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 do.
Phenomenon.
Now, UFO witnesses over the years have been various in accounts, and they claimed that they were visited by individuals that said they were the men in black. These encounters typically involved the quote MIB discouraging again from sharing their experiences, and often used again threats and coercion. That's a hard word.
Coercion.
Coercion, yes. Um, and they were often described as having otherworldly auras and behaving in an unnerving manner. So, were they aliens or were they humans?
Don't know.
Yes. Now, the first reported sightings associated with the MIB dates back to the early 50s. However, it is important that we note the exact origins and details of this legend are difficult to pinpoint due to the nature of anecdotal accounts and urban folklore. So, this is one of those things where Bob's brother down the road, his cousins, mothers, sisters, brothers, saw men in black, so they must exist.
That's right. They gave me a nice piece of chew free, got that chewing gum, and we had some bottle of moonshine. Let's go and let's sit back on the room.
Yes.
That's
Thank
what
you,
kind of.
Bob, sisters, brothers, cousins, mother's brother,
You're
for
right.
that
Because
escalated account.
they were big, and they just don't know what I mean. Because they had them dangling asses, and they just sound like dark heads, and they just kind of and they all that understand. Let me tell you.
No, tell me, have you had too much moonshine or did
Oh
they
no, no,
zap your
I didn't have
mind?
I didn't have no moonshine before they showed up. Because I was out there, weed some of that wacky weed that my brother's cousin's drug lord, slum lord, that's growing out there.
Speaking of which, did you hear about that story where these guys back in the 60s or 70s claimed that they saw aliens and they shot their guns off? And it turns out that they were so drunk on moonshine that they didn't know what they were seeing, and it was actually barn owls that they were shooting at that they swore were aliens.
All right, and
I'll
sure
have
enough,
to,
them
yeah, I'll have
shooting
to
up there.
find that story and share that in our group. But it's an interesting one about all these years they thought they were aliens, and it turns out that they were shooting up poor barn owls.
Well, he does tell me what's going on here.
Well, continue.
All right, continuing on. One of the earliest documentations encounters, often cited as the first Men in Black sighting, involved UFO researcher Albert K. Bender in 1953. Now, Bender founded the International Flying Saucer Bureau, which we've already talked about, and published a magazine called Space Review. He claimed to have uncovered classified information about UFOs and announced his intention to reveal it to the public. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
According to Bender, shortly after his announcement, he received a visit from three men dressed in black suits. These individuals exhibited unusual behavior and warned him to stop his research and silence his findings. They allegedly intimidated Bender and confiscated some of his research materials and employed mind control techniques to keep him quiet. This experience led Bender to withdraw from public research and subsequently publications of Men in Black legend through his book Flying Saucers and the Three Men.
Again, I think we've been mind controlled because that sounds just like what I mentioned up ahead. So I think they're already mind controlling us. What do you think?
I just couldn't understand it. Whenever you want to go out there, have to stand there, looking at the other things. And, none of you actually drinking that moonshine. Because, they would go, wacky weed out back, the drug lords about as well. That's what
Okay.
While Binder's account is often considered a significant early instance of Men in Black encounters, it's important to note that the concept of mysterious individuals silencing UFO witnesses or researchers predates his story. Similar tales have circulated within the communities before Bender's experience became widely known. These early accounts laid the foundation for the enduring legend of the MIB organization, and have been several reported encounters with the Men in Black in Washington state. Here are a few notable examples.
Yes, Harold Dawes' Maury Island incident happened in June of 1947. Here, Daw claimed that he witnessed a group of UFOs near Maury Island, and he alleged that one of the UFOs exploded. This caused debris to rain down on his boat and injured his son, and unfortunately, ending the life of his poor dog. Dahl later stated that he was
I
visited
love that dog.
Dahl later stated that he was visited by a man in a black suit who warned him not to discuss the incident. The man also claimed to have detailed knowledge of his encounter, and this deeply unsettled Dahl. We also have Kenneth Arnold, and this occurred on June 24th, 1947, near Mount Rainier, Washington.
Yes, this is the most interesting because this uh, on June 24th, 1947, it was actually 20 days later that the crash at Roswell happened.
Hmm, that's very interesting. I wonder if the two are connected.
Might be.
Yes. Now, this is often regarded as the event that sparked the modern UFO era, as Arnold reported seeing a group of 9 peculiar crescent shaped objects flying at high speed. Following his sightings, Arnold claimed that he was visited by men in black suits who pressured him to stop investigating UFOs and even threatened his family if he didn't. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What are they trying to hide?
Because you know that the moonshine that sale right there in the back, and then why you eat together? Saying that no, I never smoked, I never drink any of that stuff, and I'm gonna these are your photos.
Yes. Well, the Boy Scout incident happened also in 1964, where a group of Boy Scouts in Yakima, Washington observed a UFO and reported it to their scoutmaster. The scoutmaster then reported it to the local authorities. Shortly after, 2 men dressed in black suits and driving a black Cadillac visited the scoutmaster. Again, they warned him not to speak about the incident and told him they would be monitoring the scouts' activities. Okay, it is important to note that these accounts are based on witness testimonies and are often considered within the context of urban legend and the Men in Black phenomenon. The credibility and verifiability of these encounters remain a subject of debate and skepticism. Again, we are not saying, for those listening in, we are not saying the Men in Black exist. We are simply stating that it is a conspiracy slash urban legend.
That's right, because we don't even have no little moonshine in my backyard, no somebody can weed or anything like that, because we never even have no.
Yes. Also, West Virginia has its own share of Men in Black stories. As we mentioned before, with the Point Pleasant in the late 1960s. Um, and why don't you tell us about some of the ones there in West Virginia as well?
No, oh, sure, not a problem. Now, during the Mothman sightings, which involved numerous reports of a strange winged creature, witnesses claimed to be visited by men in black. These individuals were described as wearing black suits, having odd appearances, and exhibiting unusual behavior. They would often intimidate witnesses, discourage them from discussing their encounters, and inquire about their experiences. The men in black in these accounts seem to have an uncanny knowledge of the witnesses' encounters and details surrounding the sightings. Let's look at Woodrow Derenberger. His encounter in 1966 claimed to have had uh, the experience with an extraterrestrial being known as Ingrid Cold near Parkersburg, West Virginia. Following this encounter, Derenberger reported being visited by men in black who demanded that he stop talking about his experience. The men in black reportedly displayed peculiar behavior and conveyed an intimidating presence.
So hold on. Ingrid Cold
Hmm.
was a supposed extra, or sorry, extraterrestrial being that Dernenberger was visited by.
Yeah. And someone showed up and said, "Oh, you can't talk to her no more. No talkie. No talkie, talkie, talkie. Keep your lips zip. Don't talk to
So
Mrs.
could it
Cole."
be possible that Ingrid Cold was a little on the woohoo side herself?
I don't know.
I mean, going around telling people you're an alien. I
Uh,
would first thing I would be doing is calling, the asylum and saying, "Hey, we got somebody over here that you need to check out."
well, the only problem is, I don't think Miss Cole actually has any chewing gum or anything. We're getting a free food, She didn't really get it, and it says around the tongue and drink some moonshine.
Yeah. Well, tell us about Terry Wrist's and a more up to date encounter.
In 2004, Terry Wrist, a resident of Point Pleasant, claimed to have seen the Mothman and secretly encountered the Men in Black. Wrist describes being visited by two strange men, dressed in black again, who warned him not to speak about what he had witnessed. The men in black were said to display an unusual and unsettling demeanor. That is
Terry
interesting.
seems,
Yes.
yeah.
Now, our wonderful, warm home state of that beautiful place known as Texas has also
Woohoo!
had its share of the reported MIB. Here are a few instances associated with the Men in Black in Texas.
Yes, here in good old Texas,
Yep.
home of the Cowboys, the Spurs,
Used to
and
be the
the,
Oilers.
yeah, Oilers black. Go Tex, go Cowboys,
Go Texans.
go Cowboys, and
Go
the.
Mavericks.
I'm
Go
sorry,
Rockets.
go Spurs. I bleed black and silver and blue and silver. But we're getting off
Go
topic here
Rangers.
with the
Go Astros.
sports. We're getting off here with the sports.
Sorry. Tell us
Um,
about these Texas people.
yes, in the 1980s and 90s, a series of UFO sightings were reported in Gulf Breeze, Florida, which is close to the Texas border. Now, how is Gulf Breeze, Florida close to the Texas border? There's like 5 states between the two.
Well, it's just Florida and Texas. The other
Uh,
side.
maybe on the other side of the Gulf, but you've got 5 different states between the two.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't see how that could be right on the border.
Maybe.
But witnesses in Texas claim to have encountered men in black following their UFO sightings. These individuals dressed in black suits and again visited the witnesses, telling them to be silent about their experiences. Then we also have in 2008, there were numerous witnesses in Stephenville, which is also here in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
They reported seeing a large unidentified flying object. Following these sightings,
That's over in North Texas.
yes, some of these witnesses claim to have been visited by the men in black. And again, they were, dressed the way that they've been reported to dress before and exhibited the same behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have the Cash Landrum incident. This did occur primarily in Texas, so it is worth mentioning. Way back in 1980, Betty Cash and Vicki Landrum and Colby Landrum reported encountering a massive UFO near Huffman, Texas. After the incident, the witnesses claimed that they were visited by the MIB. And again, they showed the same kind of characteristics as before. But even California, as kooky as California is, they also have their reports of the Men in Black. And there was a UFO researcher, Morris K. Jessup, in the 50s. Jessup received a series of strange letters that contained detailed knowledge about UFOs and advanced propulsion systems.
As propulsion, not population.
Well, tell us more about these letters, please.
Oh, yeah, those letters are allegedly sent by the individual named Carlos Allende, who claimed to have witnessed a secret experiment involving a naval ship and a UFO. Later, Jessup reported being visited by the Men in Black, who warned him to stop this research and not to divulge further into the topics discussed in the letters. That's Hollywood UFO case in 1953, where a film crew claimed to have witnessed a UFO while filming in the desert near Palmdale, California. And you ain't got one. Following the sightings, the crew members reportedly being visited by the MIB, which coordinated their footage.
Confiscated.
They coordinated and confiscated, mind you, uh, and told them keep silent what they have witnessed.
This could have just been them filming another movie somewhere nearby.
Maybe.
And, they, caught, because if you think about it, this is way before CGI. So this is way before they had the computers to create UFOs and
Hmm.
all those flashing lights and different things. So it's very possible, but what they saw was another crew filming another movie.
Maybe. But we also got to look at the Lake Tahoe, California, reporting the UFO. They claim to have been approached by men in black shortly after their sighting. They were described as wearing black suits and sunglasses, displaying strange behavior and uh, pressuring the couple not to share their experience. It's important to note that these accounts are based on eyewitness testimonies and fell within the realm of urban legends and the Men in Black phenomenon. Their credibility and reliability of these encounters remains a subject of debate and skepticism. Let's
Mhm.
talk about DC.
Yes, being the capital of the United States, it has its own set of MIB stories and legends that are associated with government secrecy and encounters. Here are a couple of incidents. There was the Flatwoods Monster incident, which was not exactly in DC, but it happened in 1952 in Braxton County, West Virginia. So it's close to DC. It has been linked to the Men in Black accounts as witnesses reported encountering strange glowing object and a humanoid figure with a large round head. Following the incident, the Men in Black visited them and again told them not to talk about it. 1952, Washington, D.C. There was a series of UFO sightings that occurred, and multiple witnesses, including military personnel and radar operators, reported that they saw unidentified flying objects in the sky. These sightings did prompt the Air Force to conduct an investigation. While there are no widely reported MIB encounters directly associated with these sightings, the incidents added to the overall lore of government secrecy and potential involvement in UFO related events.
Yes.
However, these guys are not just limited to the US. There have been reporting reportings of encounters with similar mysterious figures in Europe as well. And here's just a couple of things that happened in Europe.
All right, let's talk about Scotland. Scotland, an A-70 incident in 1992 had two witnesses, Gary Wood and Colin Wright, claimed to have an encounter with a UFO on the A70 road. After reporting their experience, they allegedly forced
Face.
harassment, faced, it looks like forced, but
It's
it is
face.
faced harassment from the men in black. I still like forced harassment like individuals. These figures wore black suits, had a strange appearance, and exhibited intimidating behavior. In the country of Wales, just on the south coast of England, 1970s, they experienced a series of UFO sightings, particularly in the area known as the Berwyn Mountains. Some witnesses who reported these sightings claimed to have been visited and violated by the men in black afterwards. Not saying they were violently violated, but they were visited. Uh, who, they would arrive unannounced and exhibit unusual behavior and intimidation witness into silence. The Spring incident in Brazil involving European men in black, although not directly in Europe, the Valkyrie incident in Brazil of 19
Varhinha.
Varginha involved in 1996 an alleged encounter with men in black like individuals. Two strange creatures were reported captured in Varginha, and witnesses claimed that the men in black arrived from Europe to investigate the incidents. And of course, European men in black were described as being black suits, displaying unusual behavior and employing intimidation tactics.
Yes. There's also been reports in Asia, and some of the ones that happened in Asia include JAL Flight 1628, which happened in Japan in 1986. As a cargo flight traveling over Alaska reported a close encounter with a massive unidentified object. After the incident, crew members and witnesses claimed to have been visited by MIB, like individuals, who warned them not to discuss the encounter. These, again, did wear black suits and have unusual behavior. There's also the Lop Nor incident in China, which happened in 1995, where Chinese military personnel reported witnessing a UFO near Lop Nor. This is a nuclear testing site in Xinjiang province. Following the incident, some witnesses claimed they were visited by the MIB. We also have the Dyatlov Pass incident back in Russia. This happened in 1959 as a group of hikers known as the Dyatlov Pass Group mysteriously died in the Ural Mountains.
Okay, that's Dyatlov Pass.
Okay.
It's actually a they actually had a an episode of Unknown where they basically said what possibly happened is they died of frostbite and terror.
Yes. What I had actually heard on this is that um, an avalanche came down on them,
Hmm.
and that's how they froze to death and got the frostbite and the terror. But there's a urban, well, I don't know about an urban legend, but a rumor that if you watch the movie Frozen, there's something very similar to that in the movie, and they're saying that that's what proved what happened to these people in this past. However, some accounts do suggest that men in black individuals were involved in this incident, as witnesses reported encountering strange figures in dark clothing and experienced a sense of paranoia right before the tragic events unfolded. And again, I do want to say, going back, because I know there was a couple of military things here that we talked about. I have talked to friends of mine that were in the military and flew, and they said one of them, I remember saying him telling me that he saw something, and he went back to his commanding officer and told him what he saw when he was up there. And the commanding officer told him not to speak of it again to anybody else, not to tell anybody what he saw, um, or describe the incident to anyone. So all he could tell us at that point was he did see something, but he couldn't tell us exactly what it was. So that's very interesting.
Hmm.
Now tell us about South America.
South America. We've already mentioned the incident where the Europeans men in black showed up to escort and question the wonderful South American Brazil people, but we also have the UFO sightings in Peru that have a long history of it, particularly in the region of the Nazca, where some witnesses have claimed that these sightings claim to have been visited by the men in black afterwards. Everybody remembers the Nazca lines that we have discussed before,
If not, you can go back on our website
right?
or or YouTube and watch that video. I'll also link it in the description.
They would show up unexpectedly, display strange behavior, and attempt to suppress the information about the sightings. Operation Plata. It's in Argentina in the 1960s. It's experienced a wave of UFO sightings known as Operation Plate. Witnesses who reported these strange sightings alleged had encounters with the men in black. These figures would reportedly show up after the sightings, exhibit intimidating behavior, and attempt to silence witnesses.
Yes. Now, while the MIB phenomenon is primarily associated with sightings and encounters in North America, Europe, and other regions, there have been a few reported incidents involving the men in black in Africa. There was an Ariel School UFO incident in Zimbabwe back in 1984. In this one, a group of school children in Bua, Zimbabwe, claimed to have witnessed a UFO and encountered strange beings near their school. Following the incident, some witnesses reported being visited by the MIB, and again, they, warned them not to speak of their experiences by intimidation. Also in South Africa in 1994, there was also the Westel High School. This happened in, actually, it wasn't in Africa, but the person who saw it, Joy Clark, was originally from South Africa. However, this happened in Australia.
Melbourne.
Yes, Melbourne, Australia. And Joy Clark, who was originally from South Africa, reported encountering the MIB after having a sighting outside of her school. And again, they tried to intimidate her to be silent and exhibited the same unusual behaviors.
Yes.
Tell us more about Australia.
Now, their Frederick Valich disappearance in 1978, who was a pilot while flying over the Bass Strait in Victoria, Australia. Prior to his disappearance, Valiant reported seeing a UFO and described encountering an aircraft-like object with unusual features. Following the incident, some witnesses had been claimed to be visited by the Men in Black, who warned them not to discuss the case, and these individuals described as wearing black suits and exhibiting quite an intimidating presence. We've already discussed the Westfall UFO. Now for the fun stuff.
Yes, let's look at Lowell Cunningham. Again, the Men in Black comic book series is a popular and influential franchise that revolves around a fictional secret organization that monitors and regulates extraterrestrial activity here on Earth. Again, it was created by Lowell Cunningham, and the art was done by Sandy Carruthers. This was first published by Aircell Comics way back in 1990. Was later acquired by none other than Marvel Comics, which now is owned by Disney, correct?
I believe so.
I'm not sure if it's just the movie franchise or the entire Marvel Comics that Disney owns.
Well, they own the Aerosol Comics label. I'm not sure if the reprints are underneath Marvel.
Okay. But again, the comic book series did serve as a basis for the Men in Black film franchise. And its first movie, again, was in 1997 with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. It combines elements of science fiction, comedy, and action. and depicts the adventures of the Men in Black agents as they protect Earth from aliens and maintain the secrecy surrounding extraterrestrial life. Tell us more about the comics and films.
The comic series and subsequent films have become well known for their distinctive black suits, sunglasses, and the use of neutralizers, like that memory type thing. They never
Yeah.
know what's down, going to impact them. We
You
didn't
did
find
not see anything. You just
that.
had too much moonshine.
Right, now this is why I can eat the back. I just don't know about that because my brother and sister. Anyway, uh,
Did you?
included sequels, animated series, video games, merchandise, and garnered a large and dedicated fan base. Cunningham, the creator, reportedly got the inspiration for the concept of this various sources, including his own imagination and the existing conspiracy theories surrounding UFOs and government secrecy. Cunningham has also stated that he was intrigued by the conspiracy theories about secret organizations and government cover ups, particularly those related to UFOs, AUPAs, RSPCs, find out what it means to me, and the extraterrestrial life. He combined the ideas with his own imagination to create a concept of a secret organization called the Men in Black, tasked with monitoring and regulating extraterrestrials actually on Earth.
Now, interesting enough, I know Will Smith jokingly commented why he stopped with, I think it was the third movie and didn't do any more after that, was because he was afraid that they might think he knew too much and the Men in Black would actually come after him. I don't know if that was just him being joking around because he
Mhm.
didn't want to do any more of the movies, or maybe there was a little bit of truth to it. We'll never know. But we ask our viewers now, do you think they Men in Black exist? What are your thoughts, your feelings, your experiences? We would like to know, so you can leave a comment um, in our chat or down below in our comments if you think that they do exist. What do you think, Rick?
Well, I kind of think that it's kind of a weird situation. A lot of people do wear black suits, and when they're out in the sun, wear black sunglasses, and never been intimidated by them.
Yeah, you know me, I'm not a big believer in aliens to begin with, so the Men in Black are right up there with my belief in aliens. But again, I do think it's very fascinating. I did post a video in our Facebook group. If you're a member, you can check it out, about a family who saw something in their backyard, and police caught it on body cam, and then people in black suits showed up. If you're not a member of our group, you can go to our
Join
QR
us
tag here and join us. Um,
on Facebook,
yes.
and try to visit our website, skepticpsychic.com, where we do have some very interesting stuff there.
Yes. Again, if you'd like to suggest a topic or send a story to read on air, you can send it to info@skepticpsychic.com. And we ask that you mark your calendars for next Sunday and set your alarms, because
Okay.
next week is dedicated to an intriguing discussion on Project Blue Book.
Yes.
Yes, this is a new one for me. I've never heard of this. Jamie says, I feel like there are so many stories that it would be crazy if they're true. I agree, Jamie.
Hmm.
But next week, we'll be talking about Project Blue Book. This is a new one to me. I've never heard of it. So this will be a lesson for me as well. So we'll see you at 8:30 Central next Sunday, 7:30 Mountain, 9:30 Eastern, and 6:30 Pacific. Is there anything I forgot to mention this week?
Well, like I said, you're more than welcome with views, and comments. Give us 5 stars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on Apple Podcasts. Tell us if we're doing good, doing bad, eat a bag of dirt. Let us know exactly what we can change. What do you like? What do you don't like? Do you think we're just a bunch of idiots on it? Uh, So
Yes. Jamie says, I do think there must be some suppression as there are so many stories.
there may be. That
Oh,
was a great show. Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
thank you, Jamie. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Hopefully, we'll see you next week with our next episode.
Right.
And in August, we get back to the good stuff that I enjoy. So make sure you like and subscribe. Starting in August, we'll get back to ghost stories and haunted objects.
Yes.
But we got two more alien episodes to go before then. So
Three.
everybody, three. Are you sure?
Three.
Oh, you're right.
Yes.
It is three.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
We do Blue Book. We do Area 51/Groom Lake, and then we talk about one of the employees rumored to be part of the Area 51/Groom Lake, Bob Lazar. Join us for the
yes,
Bob Lazar story because we really think that's a fascinating story.
yes. Well, have a great night,
And one other thing before I begin, I still would like to have Dan Aykroyd to call me sometime and say, "Yeah, I got the hit the nail right on the head with the Blues Brothers being Men in Black."
I doubt it, but we'll see.
Okay, because they went on a mission from God.
Yes. Well, everybody have a wonderful night as always, and sweet dreams.
And unpleasant nightmares.
Good night, everybody.